All right, hey, what's up guys? GratuiTous here. In this video, I want to talk to you about what is FL Studio. So FL Studio is the only DAW that I use. And if you're new to that word, DAW, Digital Audio Workstation, I'm here to break down what is FL Studio, what is it capable of, and is it the right DAW for you? So I first want to say that FL Studio is the only DAW I use. I am an FL Studio trainer, but by no means am I biased towards FL Studio because of that. I have personally chosen FL Studio as my DAW. I did try other DAWs in my early years. I decided that I liked FL Studio and I stuck with it, okay? A couple things I want to say before we get into the actual video is, so first of all, FL Studio is one of the most popular DAWs for beat making, okay? It used to be called Fruity Loops, but it's now FL Studio. So if you're doing research out there, it is the same program. And the best way to try FL Studio is with the trial version. It is the full version, but the trial version, you're not allowed to open up saved projects. In no way am I sponsored, and I'm just here to make sure that you can enjoy beat making and really get the right equipment and get up and running, because I know exactly what it's like when you're starting up. There's a lot of videos just like this. And my goal here is so that you can enjoy your beat making. Okay, so the first thing I want to tell you is when you're getting started with music production, no matter what DAW you choose, and a DAW is a digital audio workstation, it's where we music producers make our music or do sound design, do mixing, do mastering. These are all different trades within the music production world. But it's always going to be tricky at first because it's brand new to you. It's just like if you were to open up Photoshop for the first time. What are you doing? And it's the same thing with music production. If you learn one DAW, one music program, it's not like you can just go into another music program. For example, you can't just go into Reason and then go into Live and then go into FL Studio and then go into Studio One. Okay, it doesn't really work that way. It's like, this is why when I always talk to you guys, I tell you that you want to stick to one DAW for workflow and affordability, price. There's no need to be purchasing tons of different music programs if one music program can do all of what you need. And the biggest benefit behind FL Studio is they give you lifetime free updates, whereas you'll see many of these companies, you'll see right here, like already own Live, it says log in to see your upgrade prices. Okay, get Reason. So this is actually $5.99 Canadian. It says upgrade. And I'll show you that in just a moment, okay? I want to cover that after. So what I'm trying to say is it doesn't matter what music program you are using, you have to learn the DAW. And so my suggestion to you is FL Studio is an awesome DAW. It's affordable. You get lifetime free updates, okay? Now, you have to learn how to make music still. Just because you know the music program, the DAW, it doesn't mean that you know how to make music, which is totally different from learning the DAW, the music program, right? If you want to take your music to the next level, you're going to have to learn mixing and mastering. You're going to have to learn how to arrange your music. And essentially, at the end of the day, you have to understand what is going on, okay? So this video is for someone who wants to make beats and record vocals, and FL Studio is the perfect DAW for this. So let's just cover a couple of these different popular DAWs. By no means am I biased towards FL Studio. Again, yes, I am an FL Studio trainer, but I personally have tried other DAWs in my early years. I decided to stick with FL Studio. And again, if you stick to one music program, I promise you, you're going to learn a lot faster. You're going to see results a lot faster. Okay, let's start with Reason. This is the first tab I have open. I have about 4 or 5 different DAWs. Again, there's lots of music programs out there. Some specialize more in recording your voice. For example, I'm talking to a microphone right here. FL Studio can record lots of different microphones, but FL Studio isn't the best when it comes to editing the audio. Okay, I'll cover more about that after. So it's saying $600 for Reason. Again, I'm going to click the upgrade because a lot of people don't factor in the upgrade fee. And again, you don't have to upgrade, but if you want the new features every year or two, you're going to have to pay the upgrade fee, okay? So here's the upgrade fee in Canada is $260. So again, you purchase Reason for $600, and then in a year or two, if you want to upgrade, the price might vary a little bit for your upgrade fee. Here's Ableton Live, another really, really popular DAW. Again, I'm not biased towards FL Studio. I like FL Studio. I know Ableton is a really, really popular DAW. It allows you to get really hands-on with different hardware and stuff. But obviously, you're going to want at least the standard. Okay, same with FL Studio. You know, they have the Fruity Edition. It's like $130, but it restricts you from not being able to use audio, such as like your voice if you want to record. So with FL Studio, the minimum is at least the Producer Edition. I personally suggest the Signature Bundle. I'll cover a little bit more about how to purchase FL Studio once we get into that. But so again, the price of FL Studio, let's just say $390. Okay, and again, these are Canadian dollars, so everything's pretty fair. We're seeing everything Canadian to Canadian. So again, you want at least the standard. You could look into the suite, but again, you know, I really don't know what the difference is between them because I don't use them. But I'm just telling you, price to price. Don't think the more you're paying for this music program, like the better experience you're going to get. I know it might feel like that, but FL Studio is honestly phenomenal. Okay, so here's the price. So about $600 or $579 compared to $390, and there's no upgrade fee. Remember that, lifetime free updates with FL Studio. Again, you can log in to see the upgrade prices. So again, a lot of people don't factor that in. Here is Cubase, another really popular DAW. So again, you probably don't want the elements, probably a little bit restrictive. You probably want at least the artist. So about $500 for Cubase. You can always search into Google or whatever search engine you use. Just go Cubase comparison, and it'll tell you the differences between each one. Here's Bitwig. This is a newer DAW into the industry. They're charging this price. I'm not sure if they charge an upgrade fee or anything like that, but Bitwig is also a DAW you can look into. Here is Studio One. Studio One does look like a really solid DAW. But again, this video is about what is FL Studio? What does FL Studio offer you? What can you do in it? Now, in all of these DAWs, so if we get Reason, or if you get Ableton, or if you get Cubase, or if you get Bitwig, or if you get Studio One, you're all able to make beats. You're all able to record your voice. But FL Studio was initially created with MIDI in mind. M-I-D-I. Okay? Now, this is using our virtual instruments and programming our one-shot drum samples to make our drum loops. And you can make a beat in FL Studio super fast. You can take it to the next level, you know, inside the mixer, with all your plugins, all that kind of stuff. So by no means are you restricted that way. Now, when it comes to audio, okay, you can see audio clips here. So FL Studio is good with audio. If I were to record my voice, and let's say I want to stack my voice with a couple vocals, or even if you did want to get technical and record a band, you can do that stuff. But with FL Studio, when it comes to actually editing the audio, when it comes to automation clips, it's just a little bit more cumbersome than maybe something like Pro Tools. And also one other DAW I should say is so Apple Logic. Okay, I would definitely check out Apple Logic if you are new and on a Mac. The pricing's very fair. I think it's about like $300 or $279. Okay, so again, there's lots of music programs out there. FL Studio. Now, again, I'm speaking specifically to somebody who wants to make beats, okay? FL Studio also allows you to record your voice if you want to, you know, make songs. But again, if you're looking into recording like a band, maybe another DAW could be more suitable for that, and it would be easier. But when we make beats, and again, if you're new to what beats are, right? So we use virtual instruments, and we use one-shot drum samples to make our drum loops. All right, so let me show you what MIDI is, as well as just a little overview of FL Studio, okay? So you have your channel rack. This is where you make your patterns. You have your playlist. This is where you arrange your song. You have your mixer, which is where you can mix your music. Inside of each insert, you can add on effects such as like delay or EQ, okay? But MIDI is this, okay? We go to our piano roll. You can see you can click in notes, all right? If you are making beats, it's very important that your DAW, which FL Studio specializes in, can handle MIDI super, super good, okay? Their piano roll is awesome. So I am using what's called a MIDI keyboard, and it plays our virtual instruments, and we can easily edit them. So if I come just to a new pattern here, and I load up the keys, so let's just click in some sounds. And this is how easy it is to make a melody. But again, I would highly recommend a MIDI keyboard. I can just highlight all those sounds. I can drag them at whatever length I want. And because this is a virtual instrument and this is MIDI, our virtual instrument will follow what our MIDI notes are doing. So if I take this one and we do something like this, right? So okay, so just to show you that we can change the note. So if I ever hit record, because again, you hit record, you hit play, and you can. So we can record over our own drum loop, and I'll show you the drum loop in this one. So the drum loop goes like this. Again, we have one-shot drum samples. And if you're new to music production, this is what you have to learn. There's a lot of different things out there like loops, but loops, honestly, in my opinion, is not creating music. You want to be able to make your own music, and everything here I have programmed myself, and that is what I teach you. If you check out my website, it's GratuiTous.com. So here's the drum loop. We listen to it with the keys. I didn't really actually let you listen to the beat. So we'll listen to a little bit of the beat. Again, this is all inside FL Studio. These are what's called patterns. You can see, you can click, you can see your MIDI notes, right? These are just different sounds we are using. And when I hit play, these patterns are into the playlist, and you're going to see a marker play. Depending on what the tempo of the music program is, it's going to play at that tempo. All right, here we go. All right, so you can see that it's playing all the patterns, right? This would be the chorus of the song, right? All in here. This is all at the chorus. It's going to go to a verse. So you can see it's broken down quite a bit, right? And this is how we start building structure and arrangement in our track. So how music production works, and it's not just for FL Studio, is we create patterns, and these patterns allow us to build our song into an arrangement, okay? Any music program is going to allow you to do that. It's just the workflow in FL Studio is so smooth, so fast, and it really caters, again, towards us beat makers. The thing that I really want to get across to you is when you're first getting started, it's really, really overwhelming, okay? Because for me, what happened was I downloaded FL Studio, I downloaded the trial version, and then I ended up purchasing FL Studio. And then what happened was I purchased a MIDI keyboard. And many times when you purchase a MIDI keyboard or different equipment, such as an audio interface, they'll give you like a disc or a license where you can get like the light version. What I found was, because I was already getting to know FL Studio, I've been using FL Studio for about 2 or 3 months, let's say, and then I purchased a MIDI keyboard because I wanted to take it to that next step. Once I got FL Studio, once I got the MIDI keyboard, and then I got that little license key, I was like, oh, well, maybe I should try a different music program. So I started trying the different music programs. I was learning them a little bit, and I was just kind of like, what am I doing? Like, you know, like I've just found that all I was doing was I was trying to learn a music program. I wasn't making music. And your whole goal is that you want to learn to make music, right? And so all I'm trying to say is FL Studio, first of all, the pricing is very affordable. Okay, again, these are Canadian dollars. You get lifetime free updates, so there's none of the upgrade fee stuff. The workflow is phenomenal in FL Studio. If you're wanting to make high quality beats, FL Studio is what I suggest. And if you need help, again, I'm an FL Studio trainer, so I'm here to help if you have questions. So again, if you want to purchase FL Studio, you can do so with the link below this video. It is an affiliate link, so which means I will make a commission. So thank you for that. If you've purchased FL Studio, in my opinion, your next purchase should be a MIDI keyboard, and make sure that you get a nice MIDI keyboard. It doesn't have to be the most expensive one out there, but I do like semi-weighted keys. And on my website, I also I have a video and I have an article about what kind of MIDI keyboard should you buy for FL Studio. Okay, notice how I say for FL Studio, because Just because a MIDI keyboard exists doesn't mean it works good in all music programs. And that's just kind of how it is in this industry. Not all equipment works good in all music programs. So whenever you're doing your research out there, make sure you are doing, the video or article pertains to your DAW, such as FL Studio. Okay, so just to close out, so again, I have an FL Studio beginner's course and a beginner's book. I also offer lessons if you would like that. Or if you join my membership, that's where you can access all of my courses. I have 26 FL Studio courses. I hope this video truly helps you, purchase the right version of FL Studio. I suggest the Signature Bundle. So a quick recap. So the Producer Edition is actually like the full version of FL Studio. There is the fruity version, but you don't get audio clips. So if you want to record your voice, or it's just restrictive. So in my opinion, at least the Producer Edition, which is the full version of FL Studio. The Signature Bundle is the producer version, but you just get some additional plugins, okay? So it's not like you're getting more features in the DAW itself. You're just getting more of those plugins I showed you. The All Plugins Bundle, you can look at it, but like I said, it is a little bit expensive. I do think the sweet spot is a Signature Bundle, but it is your money and you can decide what you want to do with it. But my recommendation is the Signature Bundle. That's what I purchased, and I've been really, really happy with it. Again, you can download the free trial by clicking try for free. And if you have Windows or Mac. Okay, so thanks for checking out the video. If you ever have questions, you feel free to visit my website. It's GratuiTous.com. It is all about learning how to make beats in FL Studio and how to get a nice polished sound. Everything from the beat making to the arrangement to the mixing and mastering. Mixing and mastering are two different things, okay? And I'll talk to you in the next video.